An unexamined life is not worth living. These are the immortal words of Socrates, a man who left an indelible mark on the annals of human thought. His philosophy, his life, and his legacy continue to provoke and inspire even 2.5 millennia after his death. Born in the 5th century BC in Athens, Greece, Socrates lived in a time of great change and uncertainty. As the classical Greek civilization flourished around him, Socrates turned his gaze inward, seeking to understand the nature of man and the cosmos. Socrates never wrote down his thoughts. Instead, he chose to engage in relentless dialogue with his fellow Athenians. He was a gadfly, always questioning, always probing. His method, now known as the Socratic Method, involved asking probing questions to expose contradictions in the beliefs of his interlocutors, pushing them to question their own assumptions and arrive at their own conclusions. This approach was not without its detractors. Socrates was charged with corrupting the youth and impiety, and in 399 BC, he was sentenced to death. But even in his final moments, Socrates remained unflinchingly true to his principles. He drank the hemlock poison willingly, asserting that a philosopher should not fear death. So what was the philosophy that Socrates was willing to die for? At its core, Socratic philosophy is about self-examination and personal responsibility. It's about questioning our assumptions and beliefs, challenging the status quo, and striving for a life of virtue and wisdom. Socrates believed that knowledge is virtue, and that the only true evil is ignorance. His famous quote, "An unexamined life is not worth living," encapsulates his philosophy. It's a call to introspection, to constantly question, evaluate, and reevaluate our beliefs, our actions, and our lives. It's a reminder that true wisdom lies in acknowledging our own ignorance. To summarize, Socrates was a philosopher born into a time of change, who questioned the world around him and the beliefs of his fellow Athenians. He championed the power of self-examination, personal responsibility, and the pursuit of knowledge. He believed in the virtue of wisdom and saw ignorance as the only true evil. And he lived and died by his principles, leaving behind a legacy of thought that continues to inspire and provoke to this day. Whether we realize it or not, Socratic philosophy is deeply embedded in our modern worldview. It informs our approach to education, to law, to ethics, and to life itself. Socrates was, in many ways, a timeless thinker, and his words continue to resonate, reminding us that the unexamined life is not worth living.